involved in a tight race. The high-stakes race saw Raila Odinga, Richard Randriamandrato of Madagascar and Mahmoud Ali Yusuf of Djibouti go head-to-head in the race. With the diplomatic maneuvering, regional alliances and the future of the AU at stake, all eyes are on the new chair on how he will address several issues, including security, diplomacy, and position of Africa in global politics. We have expert analyses on the just concluded election, and to help us unpack the latest development, I have in studio with me Joyce Wamahiu, an economist and a political commentator, karibu sana, including Daniel Juma, Executive Director, Global Peace Foundation. Karibu sana, David, Juma, as well as we also have David Monda, a foreign affairs expert who is joining us from the U.S. Good afternoon to you, David, from the U.S. Now, in this matter that has happened today, we had three candidates, all of them going head-to-head, and these are just some of the profiles of the gentlemen who went on that race seeking to run the affairs of the African continent, who are also looking forward to take over from Musa Faki, whose tenure has ended today. If we could just have a look at their profiles, and we have Mahmoud Ali Yusuf of Djibouti there, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation and Government spokesperson, that is between the year 2005 to date, and February 2003, he was the member of the National Assembly in Djibouti. That is the profile. And as well, in 2001 to 2005, Minister Delegate for International Cooperation, and in 1997 to 2001, Djibouti Ambassador to Egypt and Permanent Representative to the League of Arab States. Now, in 1996 to 1997, he was the Director of the Department of Arab World. That is the man that has emerged the winner in today's race. And we have our very own His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, who in 2018 to 2023 was the High Representative for Infrastructure Development in Africa, serving in the African Union, and 2008 to 2013, he was the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya. And 2003 to 2005, he was the Minister of Roads, Public Works and Housing. 2001 to 2022, he was the Minister for Energy. Raila Odinga came in second in the just concluded elections in the African Union chairperson election. In 1992 to 2013, he was the MP Langata constituency. 1975 to 1982, he was the Deputy Director, Kenya Bureau of Standards, Group of Standards Manager and Engineering. Again, second coming after the man who took the seat today. But now let's go to Madagascar and we talk about Richard James Randriamandrato. And March to October 2022, he was the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Madagascar. And in 2019 to 2021, Minister of Economy and Finance. In 2018 to 2019, he was the Special Advisor in charge of international relations. That is the profile of the gentlemen who were going head-to-head on that seat that was being vied for today. Men who have a very strong background in terms of diplomacy in serving their respective countries. But now, even as they were getting to it, just how did Raila take these? Because Kenya was pushing him, President William Ruto being in the forefront in pushing his man to be able to get there. And with that included a lot of lobbying and convincing presidents of other nations in Africa to give him that important vote. Therefore, Kenya left nothing to chance in the push to secure the position of the African Union position. That is all about what happened as Raila was lobbying for the position at the AUC. If we could just play that lobbying that went about during that time. Let us look at how Raila took it and how President William Ruto was equally pushing him to be able to get that seat.
Kenya iko ndani ya Afrika, sio? Sivyo? Nikasema mimi niko tayari kujaribu.
Saturday ndio ile siku.
February 15th, 2025
Kura itapigwa Jumamosi hii ambayo inakuja.
Will be a defining moment for former Prime Minister and Kenya's candidate for the AUC chairperson position, Raila Odinga.
Nikichaguliwa sawa. Nisipochaguliwa sawa. Sivyo?
49 heads of state and governments from across the continent assemble in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia on Saturday and Sunday to elect the Africa Union Commission chairperson. A vote which will have ripples in Kenya's political scene.
Mungu amsaidie apate hiyo kiti ambaye anataka. Na akitaka si yake binafsi na bibi yake mimi, lakini ni ya Afrika nzima.
Since he appeared alongside former Nigeria President Olusegun Obasanjo in February last year to announce his candidacy for the AUC seat, Raila has campaigned aggressively for the position.
He will help us to do some mobilization and some, we call it what? Brainstorming, but the real power is with us here.
Ukitaja jina la Raila, wanasema tunamjua huyo. Na ni mtu ama kiongozi ambaye anastahili kucheza kwa league ya kusaidia mataifa.
According to Raila's campaign team chair, Elkanah Odembo, Kenya has secured the support of at least 28 nations. He, however, did not specify the countries, saying the Secretariat wanted to keep everything confidential as the race would be decided through a secret ballot.
Sisi tunajua ameshachaguliwa paka kule kwa Mwenyezi Mungu ameshatia tick.
Raila Odinga has met presidents and prime ministers from the continent's four corners in a bid to secure endorsements. Among the countries he has visited are Tunisia, Algeria, Mozambique, Lesotho, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Cote d'Ivoire, and Chad, among others.
Mimi natoa shukrani sana kwenu kwa kuniombea mimi.
Tutakuwa na matokeo mazuri ya kutangaza kwamba pia naye Raila amechaguliwa kuwa mwenyekiti wa African Union Commission.
Based on endorsements, Raila has a narrow lead. However, endorsements don't guarantee a win. If Ambassador Amina Mohammed's loss in 2017 is anything to go by, the divide between Francophone, Anglophone, and Arabic countries could be a hindering factor. It was a shock that South Sudan voted for Kenya, but Uganda, Burundi, Djibouti, and Tanzania did not vote for Kenya. Currently, Raila is facing stiff competition from Djibouti's candidate, Mohamed Ali Yusuf, who had in September last year received support from the Arab League of about 27 states. Some analysts argue that the silent war between Kenya and Djibouti might give Madagascar's Richard Randriamandrato a fighting chance. On Thursday, 16-member bloc of the Southern African Development Community threw its weight behind former Madagascar Foreign Minister Richard Randriamandrato, further complicating the math. It's a matter of hours until we know if President William Ruto's charm offensive will bag the much-coveted seat, or will Kenya once again punch below its weight. Ashley Mazuri, KTN.
And yes, indeed, those are questions being asked there by Ashley Mazuri. Kenya, with all the lobbying that happened today, unfortunately, Raila Odinga did not bring that seat home. But even as we talk about the man of the moment, the man that the Republic of Kenya has been pushing to get that seat, he actually did not get it. And he has spoken not long ago on the results that have just been released. Let's listen into Raila's speech after the results.
I'm saying that
Don't move closer, sir.
Raila live.
I'm saying
Raila live.
I am happy that the members of the African Union gathered here today have exercised their democratic right in the elections. I've spent the last few months running around our continent, talking to leadership, and basically marketing my policies for this organization. I have had very useful experience in our continent. And as in Africa, there's a great potential. Africa is to move forward. We have great plans, but as it were, the elections have been done today, and we did not succeed. Members expressed their democratic rights and voted for Mr. Yusuf. So I'm saying I accept the outcome of the vote and congratulate Mr. Yusuf for his victory today and wish him well in steering this movement forward. I want this organization of the African Union to be strong, to merge and be able to serve the people of Africa effectively. Thank you.
Mr. Prime Minister, did the East African community vote for you to a man?
I don't know, because as you know, the vote was secret ballot. So you don't know who voted and who voted against you. So I will not say, but I'm sure that most of my friends voted for me. Most of my friends voted for me. And of course, those who voted for me are also my friends. But probably they thought otherwise. So they exercise their democratic rights.
Had you prepared yourself for such an eventuality?
Of course, when you go to a contest, there can only be two outcomes. You can win or you can lose. So this is one of them. And therefore, I'm not bitter. I'm very happy, in fact, indeed. And I'm still available to offer services to the continent in any other capacity.
Do you think the situation in the DRC might have played a hand?
I am not sure. I don't want to speculate what may could have played a hand. But as it is, DRC issue remains a contentious issue. It's something that needs to be fixed as quickly as possible, because the kind of suffering that we're seeing is completely unacceptable. They want on destruction of property, the killing of innocent people, children, women, and so on, must be stopped by all means.
Prime Minister, what's your plan now?
Because my plan now is I'll go back home, and so many things to do back home.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, bro.
That is former Prime Minister Raila Odinga there addressing members of the press immediately after that election that saw his opponent, Mahmoud Yusuf of Djibouti, take the city. And Raila Odinga there saying that Africa has got potential and that whoever takes that seat should make sure that that potential is actually realized. That as much as he did not succeed, Yusuf has taken the seat, has accepted defeat, and congratulated the man on the seat right now, saying that AU should be strong moving forward. And that is the basis upon which we start our conversation. Daniel and Wamahu, karibuni sana. Now, I just want to start with Wamahu. Now, as that election now is in place, we have the person who's taken that seat. Just what does that mean for Kenya?
Allow me first to congratulate the winner. This is Yusuf. The race was not easy. They've gone up to 6 rounds. It shows that the message that was being communicated out there was literally very, very strong. On the same breath, we have our own candidate. This is Baba. He put on a strong fight. Going up to round 6 again is not easy. But there are a lot of fundamental issues that have come up that retail needs to be dealt with. Allow me, Dennis, to take you back some time back when we had Amina.
Amina Mohammed, yes.
Amina Mohammed running for that seat. And then today she lost. Then today we have Baba, who has gone for the same seat and he has lost. When Amina lost, did our country ever do some audit to deal with why we lost it, so that even when we front a candidate of the statue of Baba, would have dealt with the issues that surrounded the losing of Amina. So I feel, much as we say that we were very prepared for this race, I still feel that we are not prepared for this race. When the outgoing AUC chair was arriving today, and he gave out his crossing and farewell remarks, he touched on two issues that of great concern. One, he apologized to the members of the African state. And then he said he realized that there were some misses and hits that he overruled. What is this elephant in the room that is harassing, that is bringing down the African unity? That this elephant in the room is not being addressed. Because when we have the outgoing, who've been there, the Ghana candidate, the Ghana leadership, who've been there for 8 years, apologies for the misses, apologies for the mistakes. What is there that we are not getting it right? So I think even when Baba is saying that he needs to come back, we as the African state need to literally have a sitting down and address the issues that were raised by the new chair. This is the president of Agora. And he talked of patent issues that literally, that had been prayed down diplomatically. But in essence, these are issues that are coming to bring us down. Look at the issue of ending the gun wars in Africa.
Yes.
It is an issue of great concern. Perhaps Baba had not, Baba and his team had not fathomed on how to deal with the issues. I wish the team that was doing the campaign dealt with the hard issues. Right, just like his message, the accepting of the defeat. He has been asked, do you think the DRC mess contributed to your downfall? And of course he fumbled with words. But I'm thinking, these are the hard issues that even the candidates needed to narrow down and discuss. Much as some of us are hurt that Baba lost, because we were thinking that he would get the seat. But I think that it is not yet the right time. It is not yet the right time for us as the Anglophone countries to take that mantle. Why? Why do we have a lot of support from the French-speaking countries, the Muslim-speaking countries, and we have a divided the East? Don't you think we are missing it in a big, big way? So I think we need to calm down as the members of the Eastern Bloc address the worrying issues that we have.
All right. Daniel, now, here is a question of the matters on hand that might have contributed or not. But this now comes to be the matter that needs to be addressed by the new AUC chairperson, who's there, Musa Faki Mohammed. We know the fighting that are there in Africa and the need for them to actually be addressed. We know that 6 African states were not eligible to vote during these elections due to the fighting and how the countries are being run. We know the coups that do exist, countries that are run by military personnel, and those are some of the issues that the new chair has to deal with. Musa Mohammed Faki tried to deal with that while he was in office, but the new chair has to do that. But is that one of the main reasons you'd say that Raila lost? And what does this loss pretty much just mean, not only for Kenya, but even Kenya and its diplomatic approaches moving forward?
Thank you. First, let me congratulate the winner of these elections, Mr. Ali Yusuf. And also I want to really congratulate Honorable Raila Odinga, for a well-fought battle. As they say, asiyekubali kushindwa asiye mshindani.
Yes.
And so, as Raila rightfully said, he went into this race with 2 outcomes in mind. And yeah, so personally, I know as a Kenyan, of course, we are disappointed that he was not able to win. This was a race that they should have won. But as you said, there are several issues, that are affecting Africa that needs to be addressed. The fact that almost 6 countries were not able to vote, that just tells you that there's a big elephant in the room. The AU has been, talking about silencing of the gun, and this was supposed to be by 2020. The guns have not been silenced, and when you look at, the latest, goings-on in the Eastern DRC, these are issues that the AU really need to address, and they have not been properly addressed. And I don't want to blame. I know that the team headed by, of course, Ambassador Odembo and also Singoe, the PS Singoe and the team. I think the team were capable. And I'm also aware, 2017, I was around, of course, when our former PS, former CS for Foreign Affairs, Amina Mohammed, also, ran a really good election, but she lost in the last minute. Personally, I think that the latest entrance of the Madagascar candidate and the endorsement by SADC could have played a role. And I think now Kenya as a country, this election, whether we won it or lost it, basically has implications on our foreign policy, especially in Africa, and also matters of regional influence, and also our own internal governance. Okay. And so these 3 are very crucial, and these 2 are basically played a role. And so as a country, I think we really need to reassess our relationship with like SADC and the countries that did not support us in this, because Kenya is a great nation. In East Africa, we are the most powerful nation in East African bloc. There's no reason why we would not have won this. And so I'm thinking we need to reassess our relationship and also our foreign policy, and also how do we move forward in terms of regional influence? Moving forward, yes. Yeah. And indeed, remember that we're also having David Monda, foreign affairs expert, joining us from the United States of America. When we come after the break, I just wanted to get his perspective on how then do we move forward from this, reassessing our foreign affairs policy. How do we ensure that we have friends that we can believe in and trust in? But now let's take this short commercial break. We'll be back with much more.